is a very known figure in the country. He, okay, we all know about Contact FM, but we've been discussing with him on other projects about the TV, and I'm sure he will have a lot to share with us. Albert, thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
I thought I was coming for to play a song.
No, not today. Maybe tonight. We also have Igihe, which is represented by Emil. Igihe, we all have heard a great story about Igihe. I would say it's the most see coming out of Kela. Thank you, Patrick, for making it. So we also have, in preparation. So I've just got a call from Airtel, representative who is on the way. He'll be here with us in a short while. He's also taken up preparing Transform Africa, but he told me that someone from ESC is going to be with us shortly. Providers. Yeah. The discussion today, I'll just have a brief presentation, very few slides about what we're thinking as Axiom being created. I, at some point, wanted to be associated with Kela because this is the house of boost the ICT in Rwanda. So thanks a lot for hosting us, Kela. I haven't seen Claudette. I don't know where she is. She must be busy also writing the Rwanda content. Actually, maybe we're missing the word digital, if I'm not wrong, where she said the internet is the greatest equalizer of the world, including industrial revolution. In the discussion we have at Axiom, some of the things, so I wanted to tell you, so of course, today we are happy to have about 30 people working for us, and by delivering our solution, we promote the Rwandan businesses so far. And of course, we are bringing our own contribution to the economy of the country, and something which, why is that hosted locally? This forum can be useful to clear up this conception regarding concerns that have already been addressed, as well as identify areas from my knowledge is going to be one of the first. Hosting abroad saves $111 to the developer, but its cost to the economy, that traffic, is actually costing not only to the ISP but to the whole economy. This is actually money that we are sending data abroad at latency and delay for user accessing to share, discuss with you, get ideas from you. What do we need to do to start hosting locally so that we develop? Now, you are aware that Google Global Cache is now hosted locally, and
as moderators introduced me, CEO Eric Mark, and the car issuing company dealing in smart transport. So I contribute to the content towards our volumes of information and data that come through the payments. I'll get into the details. And I also contribute for the New Times, so I also provide content. We have the smart card. Someone buys it and tops it out with an amount of money, and then there's a validator mounted on public transport buses, so you tap and get moving. So unlike many businesses, we do not have the option of choosing whether to host in. As we are hosting our data here, it's very tricky because it's expensive. For $49, you get 150 GB abroad, and for $900, you get 50 GB here. So that difference, is not very flexible, especially for startups. And it's very exciting because this conversation is in Kela, a place where startups are sprouting out. So our discussion should not only focus on the big players like ETA, New Times, CJ, but also look at someone who's just coming to the market. So I'll be talking a little bit about both the benefits of having our content localized, and then also some of the opportunities that we have startups that keep there.
A few times say how exciting the future will be, and you always wonder, when is the future starting? Startups, blah blah blah. Startups is going to be exciting. We got apps, we got all. Not just highways, a network of fiber, but also the infrastructure is there. It's been there. Everybody's been connected for the last 3 years. It has supported government to even do this decentralizing of the government. Now everywhere, even in Buzing and Twi, you can have the same services delivered as in the capital city. Built. And if we go outside, it's because you cannot pay it. Now we have highways where we only have roller skates rolling on those highways. There's nothing. We have a potential, but we cannot, because the price to send data from here, Telecom House to Nyarutarama, is higher than from Birmingham to Kigali. Yet, it's the same fiber that has been built from Byabishimbo Naya Makawe Yacu. So that is where it's just not taking off. And of course, the private sector won't move. Because if these are the standards, hey, they're making their money. So, whatever we have that is interesting, I can show you 1,000 things here that I have, that we have, that are here, even located in this building. But how do we get it to the rest of the people? And that is where the problem is. So who is managing that? Who is now? We have a Rolls Royce of a data center here, a Rolls Royce. It's like an Airbus that only has, because they have already 20 clients that they have, like these guys. They have no choice. So they have like only first class. There's no economy, and the plane takes off every day with just first class, and no economy, and the plane is empty. So I'm the elephant in the room, and I'm ready to discuss about this.
Which has happened to become a brand company, but we also have other products, mainly online and digital. So here is Iyo.com is the first local visitor website, and we were the first to, like the pioneer of this online content. I'll speak both on from the experience, because we have hosted locally and abroad, and we decided to take the content back abroad because we had serious issues which actually need to be. There are really serious issues. And we do provide content, and we're ready to provide content, and the market is ready to consume the content, but there is something in between which is lacking. I don't understand why it's unfair. Yeah.
By the way, I'm watching Arthur's TV now using the, and this is, I'm taking from next door, and it works perfectly.
Well, I've already said, I think, quite a lot. Just maybe if I can jump in here. For us to offer such solutions, and I'm glad to be here as well.
Thank you very much. So if, too much, that being one of the challenges you're facing, I would want to know in your next intervention, what is your mid-long-term strategy to mitigate this problem, so that maybe some of the attendants here learn from what your thoughts are to get hosting locally more or less expensive, and then all of us working together, we increase the amount of data hosted. Then we have Albert questioning when is the future starting. Actually saying we have a Rolls Royce of a data center, we have the infrastructure that's there, but yet it's not being used. Eventually we only have 24% of London accessing the internet and connected. So that means accessing digital data. Then the infrastructure is there. Albert, I will want to know, in your opinion, what comes first? Is it getting more Rwandans, getting more Rwandans connected and then produce more content for their consumption? Because there is no point yet for you to host your data locally because you have more reliable service outside. Rather us working on assisting the government to improve it, or also to conveying data locally. So Johnny, I would want to know what your take is on that and what your company is doing, what's your view on what should be done, what are the strategies to getting this in place. So let's start with Albert and then Emile, Patrick, and lastly Johnny.
Because we haven't started yet, the total environment to service it and the data center, times or anybody outside one, like Johnny was saying, they are hosting, they are making some money by the fact that they're not hosting from here, but we as consumers, we are going to take it out. That means this thing of having an ICT hub is not working exactly the way as a hub, because we not just be importing, because for now our main stuff is to import whatever we have. We can export, but first of all, my first question is to tell everybody, come back to your senses, make this local stuff at least free of charge or very small rates, because it's there anyway. If you put something in there or not, it's there. So that is the very first. So I have no doubt about the potential of people. The stories when I was asking in the beginning.
We needed a certain capacity of internet. So we requested, let's say, 2 megabytes, and they said, look, just try 3 megabytes, up and down, MB. After 4 months, it was almost impossible for us to live without those 3 MB. You see, I'm sure they have made losses at the beginning, but at the end they have gained somewhere else. So I don't understand how you can track a startup, let's say, you only focus on the on the business class. So why don't you focus on the economy first? The idea was like the only website in Rwanda, and the people were dissing us. Why are you starting something in Kinyarwanda? Who's going to read a newspaper in Kinyarwanda? They say, and it was a whole. Thank you.
How best to suit. As you can see, someone else is winning by paying less by hosting outside, but someone else is losing so much because he's an ISP and he has to cover that. That's when you have the content going through abroad, an international carrier, as opposed to going through the internet exchange point. So we need to sit down, go back to the drawing board, see what makes sense for the data center, because much as we want them to drop prices to almost nothing, they also have to maintain the Rolls Royce that we kept talking about. And to get the best, definitely you have to pay something. So from the data center's point of view, the ISPs that just need hosting for a small website just for information. So that also has to be played along. What kind of package do you create? Because in the middle there, you don't have so many people. You have the people that have so much data coming in. You have the people that just have a page to be hosted. So I think sitting down often, like you suggested, will help us.
Thank you. Okay. I think from Axiom point of view, as I said, Axiom is a startup. Without the fiber that has been built in this country, companies like Axiom would have never been there. Never. So something big have already been done. Now, as a company which has seen what's going on in the market, for me, I take to host 2 racks of servers. So we start and we say, look, there's no way we can afford it. So we built our own 2 racks that that demand is there, and we believe that there's room for price to go down. We believe so, and we are very convinced, and that's why we just decided. Technology, by chance, technology is also going down. I mean, the price is going down. What it costed to do 3-4 years ago, today will cost a fraction of it. So that's an advantage which I'm seeing, and that I believe other people are going to do.
Locally hosted data, then more people would host data locally, so to capture more consumers locally, and more consumers locally will access that data. So let's take it as a recommendation 1, and we'll see from the audience what their thoughts are. Maybe people from telcos will let us know what the feasibility of that solution is, and how fast we can go there. Second recommendation, making it less costly to host data. So for a startup like IGA, hosting data at $1 million Rand francs per month is very difficult. So first, making it, allowing startups to see how it works, or to see actually what their market would be if they host locally, because it's easier to access the data. And secondly, maybe exploring new business models when it comes to hosting, so that startups get started, and as their consumption pick up, they pay more based on consumption of the data that's hosted. Recommendation from Patrick is that for us, first to mitigate the cost, but says that Axiom had to build their own internal more data capacity. So basically, the recommendation is why using the already existing infrastructure. What are the areas? We have enough companies building up on the existing infrastructure to get it.
I think it would be wrong just to see it only for these compete with the rest of the world. You can attract to Rwanda because of the infrastructure, even financial projects and visions of data banks here in Rwanda. Even for banks and for stock markets and all of that, if you minimize latency, at least will take the best of what the vision was. So it's not just for startups, but also to position Rwanda. Because tomorrow, if Kenya wakes up,
Have intervention.
This is a business. People have to make money from the investment they put into these networks. But I think the question here is, first of all, we at RBA are hosted locally by BSC. And the troubles we used to have when we hosted in the US are not the kind of issues we have today. We used to have so many issues, so many problems when we hosted in the US. There would be a breakdown, and for you to get fixed, your streaming to be fixed from the US would be almost 3 or 2 days gone. But when I would understand from the people who are starting up might be having issues with the pricing. But again, I think you need to weigh the disadvantages of being hosted there and those of being hosted here. Me, I would vouch for as much as possible being possible to be hosted by local companies. And the problem is that we don't know actually these companies that are hosting. For example, I'm looking for, we want to, I'm not from the ICT world, but we want to off-house servers. We want to have a second external server to keep our content, because our content is, our servers are inside our main building. If it caught fire, we'll lose everything. But we don't have something that is off-site. But getting the guys to come and give a good proposal to host you is an issue. Yet the market is there. We really want them. We've been at the thing of going to Peka to host us there, because I hear Peka has some very good, powerful servers that can host us. So even the local companies who are doing this business, make the products be known. But then the issue might be, if I got it right from Emil's arguments and Albert, I think you might need an intervention of the regulator into this. Because if transport costs are regulated by the regulator, if fuel prices are regulated by the regulator, I think maybe the regulator might intervene and set some, minimal pricing modules for the service provider, so that we know that maybe the price of hosting us is determined by the regulator. We might have an intervention of ruler to do that. But going now into content and digital content, me I see the biggest challenge being the lack of innovation. I think the graduates from Kela have to come up and show us that really they can give us some nice products. Well, I'm speaking from a point of view of the person who's running the TV. Let's look at a person like Anne Kassimi. Anne Kassimi has made a name via YouTube, doing very creative videos, and everybody in the morning before they start up thinking they're looking for Anne Kassimi. And she has no TV, but has made a name through YouTube, and she's making good money from this. So how do we get this young, creative Rwandan who can take advantage of this digital age to produce content that is attractive and appealing to the audiences, that I'll go on YouTube and I'll look at it and say, that's a very nice video, let me buy it, me as a person running TV. Because our business as people are running media outlets is not, my business is not into producing content. I should be hosting content. I should be buying it from the local market. If you have a very good show, come to me, we negotiate, buy it, either buy it or we share, we have a revenue model that we should agree on. That's what we're doing with so many of our programs. It's a new concept, but it's an industry that we can really bring up. If people are able to use the new digital facilities we have, show us that you can have some very nice videos or some nice songs, beautiful content, and we, people who are running TVs, are able to buy that content from you. And you move up, you start up the industry like that. So, for me, the key issue here is how innovative our graduates from such places like Kera. We have seen it is working everywhere. People are taking advantage of the digital dividends. People are really making money from these things. Anne Kassimi is the best example. She's now a millionaire from nowhere. So that's small contribution I want to make on the content side. But on the hosting and infrastructure, I think there must be need of a regulator to intervene and say people should have these minimum or maximum prices for people to be able to use the facilities instead of lying idle like Albert is telling us. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I think quite a few issues have been raised. Let me talk about separating local traffic from international traffic. From MTN's perspective, we're very open to that. We had a discussion with Albert together with our CEO, I think on Tuesday, and as long as there's demand, MTN is very willing to differentiate between local and international. But
I didn't want to talk on your behalf,
yeah,
but these guys are coming there now. MTN is doing the walking the talk.
Yes, we're not going to do it for free, as Albert wants, because we have money. We have to make money and we have to recoup our investments. But definitely, we'll have differentiated pricing between the two. In terms of price, the price for hosting, I'm not sure how long ago you looked at the pricing, but we've been making revisions on that. And we're going to continue revising the prices downwards. And if there's actually demand, we can actually sit down and negotiate a good price for hosting, whether it's server hosting or web hosting, whatever. We're willing to do that. Just going back on what we discussed about content from international vendors, international content providers. I haven't received in the past 3 months nothing from Rwanda. So I hear a lot about K-Lab and what the young people are doing, the amazing things that they're doing, but we don't get to hear about them. They don't come to request that MTN provides the channel to distribute that content. So I'd strongly encourage the young app developers and content providers to step out and actually demand an audience, and we sit down and start distributing local content. Digital services is a huge growth area for us, and going into the future, it's going to be a very huge growth area. Now it accounts for about 2% of total revenue. We're looking at it going over 10% in the next 4 years. So there's a lot of potential there, and there's no reason why the money should be made by international content providers when we have one of these people who are actually distributing content. So I'd strongly encourage all the young guys, step out, and we're willing to discuss with you how we can distribute content via our net.
Thank you very much. So other questions or?
Content marketing, and we do strategy as well as a communications agency. So the key thing, I'm very interested in what both Arthur and Yvonne have said, particularly when it comes to pricing. We're no longer a startup, but we're still a small business. So pricing is still very important to us. It's still the bottom line. And we work in a space, of course, that is digital. So that means when we work for local, regional, or international companies, our work is in real time. We have to be able to post content and use online content as it's happening. So any interruption to that directly affects our business, and it directly affects us in terms of being competitive regionally or internationally. So our access to this is really important to us. When it comes to affordability, that's a key part. Is it going to be not only affordable, but is it going to allow us to put up the videos that Arthur's talking about as fast as we want to? Are we going to get stopped along the way? When you give the example of Anne Kansimi, you're very right. She used a different channel, digital channel, to put herself out there globally, not just in her own space, and she's done so much with it. Are we able to do the same when it comes to access to the internet and speed? We, of course, want to be able to use it locally. We want, when we have any challenges, to be able to call somebody locally and be able to address and fix it. But is it actually going to be affordable for us? That's just the big part about it.
Fashion designers and artists to the global market through technology. So I'm actually here for TAS and BDC, which way we can work with the fellow Rwandans and see what we can do. Listening to what you guys talk to, I agree with Albert about reducing the pricing. I look at what we do. We use a number of technology platforms to do what we do. And so far, our business is designed to be controlled from everywhere, using my telephone or tablet or a laptop from everywhere. We are a small company, 5 or 6 people, and we are able to do that because it's cheaper to do this living in North America. So my point here is if ISP or network providers are able to provide cheaper prices, people will be able to bring in more technology that can help local people to do what we do or even more right here. Because so far it's very hard and very difficult to have an e-commerce platform living in Rwanda because of the pricing. So that was my intervention. Thank you.
On really what state or ideal state we should be, so to get these problems solved, so to be in the.
So first of all, I'm from the private sector, so I'm not saying that things need to be for free. I just say that the business model needs to be different. Don't get the money from a bandwidth that is there anyway, that you need to service anyway, for which you need to find power, to rent, to service and all that. So I know that, but if it's nothing in there, what do you do with your bandwidth? You cannot eat it, you still have to service it. So don't get the money from there, because today, to watch RBA, it's digital. People now have to have a little dish and a decoder. Things that the rest of the world is pushing away because it's junk. And now Africa is going to be the big bin of the world and get all the junk from the Chinese to have it in your homes. When? The government of Rwanda has built the biggest network of fiber in a country that has the capacity to drive 100 channels through that fiber, yours included, in full HD. But nobody wants to open the tabs. They want to limit you that bandwidth. Why? It's there. So I just say, let's rethink the business model. And let's see where the network can get still the money of servicing that and the benefits for carrying stage in this conversation to talk about prices on internet. But let's say about our local intranet of Rwanda. I just say open that. And the same way you've seen when private media came up as radios, that we had talent before, but now we have the King James, all of these artists, they're all there. And you will see the same thing about the K-Labs and all that. People will come. It's just that they don't have that platform. You want to go on YouTube, you're just enriching YouTube. But you're not making reach at the people who could be hosting here this kind of stuff and have a local YouTube. We have the infrastructure. What we don't have is the vision of the business model. Why do you have international content vendors? Because they have already made it somewhere else. They have a business model that works somewhere else. Now they can afford to go and also to Rwanda. But we want Albania Rwanda also to go outside. But we have to create, and we do have the infrastructure. All we have to do is to change our mindset. The nice thing about MTN, we've been discussing for the last 2 years about here, but now MTN says, you know what? It's true. It's local content. Let's give that at least, because you don't want to be frustrated to have his 1 gig a day, and in the middle of the news of RBA, boom, my package is finished. No. So with the nice thing with MTN is that we're going to try and see and try to make it happen. So that is a stakeholder that say, okay, let's. Our biggest problem, I mean, outside the private networks, but the network of the government, the biggest problem was 4G. 4G is a big wireless that is connected to the fiber and that gives you access with the exchange.
The tax man will come to you. and they declined the offer. Yet they ensure my service. I would charge them. But it was a matter of just agreeing on few principles and have a win-win situation, which actually I think it's what is most needed for us to. It was the market to have been there.
Thank you.
Arthur from RBA. You know, I'll tell you something. We're talking about developing the local contents. Now, it's like we have the superhighway, as he said, and we are just with a skateboard trying to run on a superhighway. Now, what do we need to do to use the superhighway? I'm coming from my perspective. I really wish the infrastructure providers were here. Fortunately, Yvonne is here. But I'm not going to talk about the example. Now, the fiber, just for information, it's public price. Huh? I'm not saying, I'm not quoting figures here. 1 Mbps, if I use ORN from Telecom House to Novotel, Gatuna, which is the border between Rwanda and Uganda, to the border between Kenya and Uganda, to cross, that was saying, accessing to the data locally should go down. The moment it starts going down, then yes, we'll start having the guys from Kela, the Igihes of this world, having also a much, much cheaper price. Because it's not only Axiom having access to this, because it's everyone else, all the service providers, which will be competing to get business from the local market. So, yes, the regulators.
Just to get to ask in the morning, a few people whose websites have been developed, is your website hosted here or outside? But they don't even know. So there are a lot of benefits for people hosting here. As Emil said, it's much faster. I think it's 350 milliseconds for a website outside, and at peak hours it could even go to 800 compared to 10 milliseconds when it's hosted here. So there are a lot of benefits, not just for us, for the ISPs and telecoms, but also for the country. So we look at it from our side as developers, as well as many key players in the market. And I think revising a lot of these things would be good as well.
Our panelists have been saying, and the members of the audience, is that this is possible. We can see more local content, and actually more local content being created faster. For that to happen, we need to all together work to have a conducive business environment in terms of technical, opening the pipe, availing capacity, in terms of pricing, making it affordable, business models, and of course promoting content creation, creativity. And when that is in place, when that conducive environment is in place, like we saw when private radio came up, we saw more creativity, more Rwandans creating music and content, then this will foster us seeing more digital content, more video going through internet, music, local text, applications, etc. So thank you very much for the time. It's now 2:20. So it was supposed to be 1 hour and a half. I'm going to allow you a last comment, probably not a question, but a last comment, and then I will hand over to our host, Johnny.
There's so many interesting ideas that have been presented here. But as you are concluding, I wanted us to find a way of taking this discussion further. Because we are talking about ORN, we are talking about rural, and they are not here. And quite a few times we discuss things, but then they end up here. You know, for some of us who are into the business world, it's all about the numbers and all those kind of things. If it is cheaper for me to host outside, chances are that I'll go for the cheaper option. So unless we bring these people to the table and tell them this is the situation, can you at least give us a competitive price? Because there's absolutely no doubt. We are Rwandans, or we have invested in Rwanda. We definitely want to see our country, benefit from this kind of thing. But unless the prices are competitive, it's going to be really challenging for the business world. Thank you.
We do this debate on national TV live on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, why not Monday evening?
I think Mondays might be taken up. But if you can do it Monday or Tuesday, moderated by one of you guys.
No, I don't want to be. I want to be there.
But let's leave Johnny to moderate this. But let's have this discussion live on TV, either on Monday or Tuesday.
Absolutely.
You agree?
Yeah, but get those guys, because these are the ones we need. We need the regulator, and the one who is in charge of the fiber.
They will be watching, no problem.
No, but he's there. The ORN needs to be there because he's in charge.
John will do that. But let's have this debate. I think it comes at the right time because we have Transform Africa going on. People should see these discussions.
Absolutely.
Over to you.
At the end of the day, all we want is just for Rwanda to be transformed and Africa to be transformed. At the end of the day, I think these debates are there to help us understand each other and also advance the country as well. So I wanted to thank you all.